and rising. So when I first woke up, oh my god, did I feel like, the adjustments were really, really getting deep, and just really deep within myself. But to CH Coherence Healing 2.0 and released so much of stuff around, I guess, fears and of expression. A lot of mine comes down to loneliness of sharing my unconditional love from the past, because it has been not expressed, and especially your family and partners, it's hurt so much. The loneliness has driven me into a cupboard or a small space just to run away and cry on my own, where I felt I could have my releases. And this is this balancing of grief that we have. It's all been released. The last little strands of being scared to express my spiritual and emotional knowings because people aren't going to take them in. And the echo is starting, so I'll finish the rest of that after, which is more on expression, creative expression, my echo for the month.
Right? That's a good session, right? Remember, a lot of these sessions are challenging.
So, yep, now the echo is done. More shifts, especially in the jaws and the neck, more of that creative expression outlets. But yeah, the other one though was, especially like you said at the end, it's obviously a lot harder releasing all these last little bits, remembering and feeling and releasing the pains I used to have sitting in a cupboard or something. And my cards for today have come out with relationship, plants, and potential, which that has a lot to do with, obviously this is this final stages of really opening myself back up to relationships of all sorts, because I used to do the same, when I had arguments with my mum. I used to take myself outside. I'd sit in the rain in protest and not talk to her, not eat. But to release all of that, in times of hurt, better ways of expressing myself exactly, rawly, with my emotions and feelings and wisdom and knowledge, even if that does come out in a way that people don't understand. Just got to express it anyway. Not think about how it's going to be perceived or understood. Just like now. But get on with my day, won't we, Diva? Mary's down there too, on my bed. But yes, I definitely feeling that. Even last night, on some live streams. Really being able to tell people straight lately. I have unconditional love for all of humanity. But there's boundaries within that. I have spiritual hygiene, basically. And there's just certain things I won't do, even though I look and appear to be such a free giving spirit that people will mistake it for someone that they can make requests of. Especially not freely. Book a life coaching session with me. And then, I'll work with you. But anyway, grand rising indeed today. It's actually quite warm today. I'm about to go out into the hammock. I could have done this out in the hammock. That would have been nice. It's not focusing. Anyway, yeah, a great morning. Really interestingly enough, I did cards for somebody who their cards kind of matched up with mine in a way after we had a discussion with everyone that was involved in the chat at the time. Anyway, we're talking about relationships. I put my cards away again without showing them. Bringing things through the cosmos, and my sort of, that's partly my part of my will and thy will, and micromanaging the universe through supporting people, because it's quite similar, to even anyway, plants, like the growth of golden child, tender, innocent, and rare gifts. The things I had to deal with of not being heard as a child. I think also he had deep childhood things. Family issues, kind of. Missing his brother. I definitely relate, like, to all of that. The potential deep cellular healing, physical and emotional. And that was also something that someone else mentioned in the group, being supporting the other guy. We're all supporting each other. Well, mainly, this guy was, hitting a rough patch and feeling down, and yeah, there's at least two guys there supporting him, and yeah, like I said, one of them mentioned physical and emotional deep healing, and I was like, oh my god, that was the moment. I was like, everything matches up. And yeah, just again, it's just all to do with my unconditional love for the universe and humanity, and that's all that's floating around. Well, it is very tiring. I've done some things outside, just moving bits and pieces around, I guess. It's just always gotta feed the birds, gotta change the kitty litter. I think I forgot to put the stuff in there. Moving dishes around, making sure it's not dirty in here as well, because it just adds up otherwise. Make sure taking the rubbish out, like making sure everything's stocked. And I've got to feed myself. Yeah, so it's just hard, like, having a little bit of extra work stuff to do. Yeah, it's hard to fit everything in the day, really. Best place to be. Especially when the world's just mad. There's the Trump and Harris debate going on at the moment, and yeah, energies are probably whack, so I'm gonna chill, send out some good vibes. I just had lunch a moment ago. Had some toast with garlic hummus, relish, and avocado. But I just made this pretty much just gnocchi cooked in veggie stock, pumpkin cooked in duck fat, with some marinated artichokes chopped all up in there, and mushroom tapenade. It's all quite nice, actually. I couldn't help but eat it. And it's only nearly 3 o'clock. Early dinner? I don't look like I've been out on the town or something, don't I? But I was going to buy some more of these. Or not these specifically, but I was just going through my notes, day of completions, going through, some of my notes from the last few weeks of things people suggested I looked up and things like that. So one of them was somebody told me about a place that had things like this. And anyway, basically, long story short, I ended up deciding to go try to find where are my other things, because I don't know if anyone's noticed, I've been wearing the same things all the time. So I found some of my other ones. When I went through my jewelry stuff, I was like, oh, this, and yada yada yada. But so much to say, but I don't have much battery. Because I just did a live doing my book, so I thought I'd stay in them because it looks quite cute. And quite, book reading kind of, especially for, reading history and stuff. So it's on the history of, I'll explain that and make it go along with the other chapter after the one that I've already done. So it's chapter 7 and book 6 of The Ring Cedars of Russia, if anyone wants to know. But regardless, this was interesting as well, because even before that, someone popped up and they said they had extrasensory perception. And then they randomly said, this is something about specific to my past or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting, because I only just decided to pull it out. And the first time I put it on, I had this, I was just, my throat chakra was very powerful, basically. I started saying even more stuff, and it got to a point where I actually took it off a few times. But I took it off for ages. It's been, I don't know how long, it could 6 months, probably 10 months, maybe a year. Since I've worn it, because it was just too powerful. I needed a break. I needed to just slow down, and obviously I needed the energy to get through the chapter. So there's a few dicks on there, to be honest, on the live at the start. Anyway, at the end, there was great people that really got it and really enjoyed it. So. But another great chapter of the book. So I'm just going to go on from the other one as well, the other chapter a little bit. I can always put reference to this somewhere in the other chapter, because I find it very fascinating, to be honest. So basically, from where that was left off from, this was kind of basically telling a tale about how from there, they sort of ruined Egypt, went to Rome, tried to, all through, it took hundreds of thousands of years, They went to Ruse, which is, I think, somewhere in Russia. And because I just sort of carry along with the energies of things, I don't really remember all the words as such. But anyway, they went to Ruse and basically managed to trick. The book explains it better, but trick them into going from their little, worshipping nature, basically in their little family domains with the nature around and yada yada yada, and slowly got them to worship a god. You know, first they tried the temples, but the people still just did their own little things. But then they, the princes and having a castle, basically. They didn't say castles or these words specifically in this book, but basically that's it. You know, here's a crown, here, now you're, which is exactly what they did in the other one with the Jews. They said, oh, no, you're a better, you're a higher race, trick them, just, you're this, yeah. And then that creates more war, and fights for artificial things, and we've forgotten the most powerful tool we have is within ourselves, within nature. Beautiful story about, like cars will keep breaking down, but horses and carts, the horse will eat nature and produce another foal, but we have to keep on. We got to learn about how to make them. We got to focus all our attention on something else. Distraction, confusion everywhere. And we could just be simply free with our own thoughts, just to live and be in nature. It doesn't have to be this complicated. It's just so simple, isn't it? And all throughout that, when I was reading as well, I feel this deep energy adjusting through the right side of my spine, which I have felt a little bit throughout the day, but yeah, it's just really intensifying through is reading that. So something's shifting, not just within me, but in the world. I even did some cards beforehand too, and that was kind of a little bit like, Anyway, that's enough talking for me. For now, anyway. Yes, I did think that this might happen, but like I said, I'll try to shut up. But this has brought out a whole conversation about all of this, all of the fuckery. Trump won the debate. And I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, that we did the cards about Trump. I pulled out some cards for Trump, and it basically was showing explosion, but realization for humanity, basically, and the new path. I think he's back. So anyway, we just had a great chat, and yeah, I need to get some sleep, pretty much. That's the last bits. I just want to add, if I hadn't already included in my ramblings, but yeah, this guy is someone who, before a year ago, before he stumbled across some things, first scary kind of spiritual thing, about a year ago or something like that. Before all that, it was just your usual average non-believer of stuff. Working dude, still is, obviously, but definite times are changing these last few years, and something's gonna happen soon. Alright, finally off the live streaming, but yeah, it's just too perfect. Usually I shouldn't do it, but the universe has been just guiding me to this, just the way my whole journey has been. Go back to all the YouTube ones if you don't believe me, but yeah, so pretty much, I wouldn't have been on there when this dude popped up. Usually when people request to go in the box lately, they're just, just creeps and weirdos. But I wouldn't have even been on and chatty straight up, and when I'm trying to go to sleep, not trying to go to sleep on it, but just winding down. But there was a couple of people on there that were awesome. This girl in America and the guy from Ireland. And so we were having a great chat, having a laugh, like me trying to unwind, but instead I was laughing for once. And then this dude came on, and he was hilarious too at the start. But then the person with the Trump stuff came on, and yeah, and so then we went down that route of talking about the system. And then and he basically, I think, had already before that said about, straight up, he was like, oh, I wouldn't even, like a year ago, I wouldn't have believed in any of this stuff, because I think it was the healing bowls were in the background or something. And yeah, basically just the whole thing, like, it turned out that he just and I knew from kind of the start that, you know, he'd probably want like a life coaching thing, and he did. Like, he really wants to see the cards, and just totally there with the whole understanding of everything. Because it's just, and we talked about the whole of where things came from and the whole history of mankind, just unraveling. Anyway, I hope this makes sense, the bits and pieces, for you anyway, because it made sense for all of us. It was fantastic and amazing. But good night this time. It's definitely it.